BTS have finally released their biography Beyond the Story 10-Year Record of BTS, and it's safe to say that the things that they shared are really more than shocking and unsettling. Hearing BTS's recollection of certain events spanning from their debut to this day gives us a fresh perspective on their thoughts and feelings regarding individual things. For example, hearing the stories of how they were cast is always interesting, especially when they're told by the members themselves, like how Namjoon and Yoongi both signed up for the group because they thought that they were joining a hip-hop group, and Jin joined because he thought that he would start an acting career later on. And then Taehyung didn't even think of auditioning when he was cast. But Jungkook's story of how he auditioned for different companies before he joined Big Hit sheds a light on how truly horrifying the industry can be, especially to vulnerable children who dream of debuting as idols. As you might know, Jungkook auditioned for Mnet's Superstar K3, and he even received cards from 7 different companies. However, one anonymous company made a request that's quite disturbing considering that it involved a middle schooler. According to Jungkook, a company requested him to meet at a hotel near the Superstar K3 audition venue as they wanted to record a video of him singing for an audition. This could have been an incredibly normal request, but we know how showbiz is. Once they read this particular part in the book, a fan wrote, "That's terrifying and so incredibly predatory. What could these people possibly want with a literal child in a hotel room?" Nick Kuhn of 2PM talked about having the same experience with JYP Entertainment where he was invited to a hotel room to audition. So the company might have not been bad in any way, but the setting is a bit sketchy. But no matter how different each member's journey was, they all ended up being selected to debut in the same group. Even though they're all close now, the members used to have a lot of differences back in the day, leading to misunderstandings and even fights. Yeah, they actually used to fight with each other. It was no wonder though. As the BTS members put it, they came from completely different hometowns, had different values and musical tastes. In addition to that, they all lived together and had less than a year to train before their debut. Holseok shared that it was difficult for them at first as they all wanted different things. He said, one would go, "I want to become a musician," and another would be like, "I just like being on stage." It was hard to collaborate or sense of objectives towards a single goal. Thankfully, the fact that they would debut brought them together. Taehyung recalled how he fought a lot with the members, and lots of his fights were with his now best friend Jimin. But in the end, the time they all spent together, and even the arguing, became the reason that the members grew closer together. They would cheat on their diets together and bonded over anime and mangas, and formed some of the closest friendships between each other over the years. Now on to something else. Did you know that BTS hated the melody that Bang Si-hyuk made for their hit song DNA? The song is perfect as it is, but the first drafts were rough. Jimin himself remembered how they were in the process of preparing for the album when Bang Si-hyuk came up with the melody for DNA, and let's just say Jimin wasn't a fan. He said, "When I heard it, I thought, oh no, this isn't good. We had to tell Bang Si-hyuk, right? I was the first one to say straight up, I don't like it. He's really not holding back, huh?" He said that they had been getting ready to film a music video, having their hair and makeup done when the original melody of DNA was played, and none of the members liked it. So Namjoon, being the leader, told the company, and Bang Si-hyuk went into the studio when Jimin was recording to discuss the members' opinion on this, and Jimin told him that no, he didn't like the melody. He was dismissed for the night, but Jimin's simple yes led to BTS getting their first entry on the Billboard Hot 100 singles chart at number 85. And the music video broke records at the time, reaching 100 million views in around 24 days. That's one powerful yes. The debut years were pretty hard in general. BTS weren't complete nugus per se, but the general consensus was that they wouldn't last very long and were going to fail sooner or later. It wasn't only the netizens who thought that, but fellow idols too. Holseok recalls how they were overworked after coming back with Danger, and to add to that, the members were called and told that they would be nominated for a music show for the first time. Mind you, this came after they had filmed 20 pre-recordings for a different music show. But this was their first nomination, so they hurried to the broadcast station to attend the live event in hopes that they would win. However, upon arriving, they discovered that they weren't nominated after all. Taehyung went on to explain that they weren't bitter about the nomination since it only served as motivation for them to do better. However, the members were shocked by some of the interactions backstage. He explains that they always greeted people when they attended music shows, whether they were their seniors or juniors. This wasn't reciprocated though, as other idols ignored their greetings and even mocked them for not receiving a nomination. In the book, the members bare their souls about the incident. According to them, they felt disappointed, humiliated, angry, and a whole range of other intense feelings. One member even cried in the van, but it was at this moment that they decided that they needed to be so big that nobody could look down on them. According to another idol, this mistreatment by the other idols continued even after BTS were done with their rookie years. Crayon Pop's Way said that the members had to rehearse for blood, sweat, and tears promotions near the bathroom since they weren't given a room to prepare in. She went on to say that the members were nice and greeted everyone, but other idols still looked down upon them. But the fact that they skyrocketed to fame all of a sudden was not all sunshine and rainbows. In the book, BTS also opened up about how they were thinking of disbanding after Love Yourself Tear came out. You might remember Holsuk's teary speech at the MAMAs, but the members talked about their thoughts and feelings at the moment more in depth. Once they started gaining more fame, the members all wanted to quit, but they couldn't bring themselves to do it. Namjoon then watched the movie Bohemian Rhapsody, which told the story of the band Queen, and then he started seeing parallels between them and BTS. The scene where Freddie Mercury expresses exhaustion from the constant album and tour cycle struck a chord with him as he realized that, like Queen, BTS couldn't escape the same pattern. At the time, they were doing a tour, performed at the AMAs, made back-to-back appearances on NBC, CBS, and ABC, and then also had to perform at the end of the year award shows. It was no wonder that the members felt exhausted through it all. Jin said, "We really had almost no days off. So at the time, I wondered whether it was right for a person to live life as exhausted as this." The fact that they were gaining tons of fans and popularity in such a short period of time made the members really anxious. Yoongi opened up about the pressure he felt from the overwhelming interest in BTS and the weight of the expectations placed upon them. The labels and expectations, like being a good influence and the economic impact, became burdensome to the members as, according to Yoongi, they didn't intend for the group to rise so high. Because of this, they started worrying about the consequences if they were to fall. During that time, he felt bewildered and concerned, comparing the experience to performing a perfectly synchronized dance in front of an audience. It didn't help that their time promoting in the US wasn't enjoyable in the slightest, considering that they were a Korean group and only one of the members could speak English, so the language barrier proved to be pretty hard to overlook. Holsuk revealed that performing came easy to him, but once they got to the interview part, he would find it frustrating that he couldn't convey all his thoughts and emotions like he wanted to. The relentless demands of talk shows, red carpets, and interviews overwhelmed Holsuk to the point that it caused him to burn out. It wasn't just about the busy schedule or being in a new environment, but also the pressure of wanting to contribute but not being able to do so. Namjoon, the only member who knew English, also didn't have it easy despite being able to communicate with the interviewers. He described the first time he gave an interview in English in the US as being thrown into a battlefield. You can't blame him though. Their first interviews in the US were broadcasted live for a whole hour, and they would be interviewed not by one or two, but 11 broadcasters. Namjoon nearly had a mental breakdown as the people who were interviewing them all had different accents, and he didn't pick up on what they were trying to say most of the time. The book really shed a light on some issues of the K-pop industry that not many people discuss. How difficult it was for them to debut under a small company, being mocked by other idols for that very reason, their journey to self-love, how difficult it was to break into the West, and the way that they were being treated in the West for being non-English speaking people of color. Were you surprised by what was revealed? Share your thoughts in the comments, and we'll see you next time. Bye!